Yeah, it was that time we got a gameplay review. It was late, so I didn't record reactions. Um, Also, I realised it was basically the event it was a part of was basically a bootleg E3, so I wasn't sure how long I'd even be waiting for MK. But luckily, I headlined it, so we started off with more comment and I could close the stream. I appreciate that because who gives a fuck about the rest of it? Not me. It's kind of cool it was headlined, although I don't think there's any competition there really. So yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, we got a gameplay trailer, and I didn't even think there'd be anything crazy to cover. You know, there's gameplay. I'm the fucking lore nerd. I'm the story guy, right? The gameplay's whatever. I think it was better in the 3D era. I think there's a lot of wasted potential by just reverting back to 2D, but that change was established in 2011. You know, I'm not going to repeat them same points each entry. You know, it's a 2D game again. And well, I don't like that. I think 11 was pretty solid. And this game looks solid too, although we didn't get much gameplay specifics, right? We just saw cool animations, some cool combos, and we got to see what the cameos do, which, as we expected, are basically just assists. Although I do think they do some cool stuff. The fact that it can do duo fatalities would actually make it more varied, but the fatalities is so overdone, you know, that I don't care. And also, that project takes way too much effort that it could have spent on literally anything else. And also, the cameos we know won't be story related because they're classic variants. If it's a cameo exclusive, I assume they're not in the story just because their design, it's not a new design, it's whatever their debut appearance was. Striker with MK3, Jax with MK2, Simon Kano with MK1. And also we saw classic variants of the playable characters as cameos. Now, to get out of the way, there's a big misconception that they count as cameo slots. There are 24 base roster slots, 16 cameo slots according to that select screen thing we see after this, which I might cover because there's important stuff there in the little 5-minute preview of Ed Boon, who Ed Boon doesn't explain stuff well. Like, I think he's a terrible talker. I do not know why he's the spokesperson besides creative or combat. But yeah, it was him explaining it, so he could get information wrong, but we'll go off what he said. And what he said was that essentially anyone on the base roster can be selected as a cameo on top of the original cameo characters, meaning they don't take up cameo slots. They are just, you can just select the base roster's cameos too, which I think that's fine. You know, like if I look at the cameo feature, I don't like it, but probably a good way to do it. You know, like it doesn't look terrible. I can already tell how it could be annoying in gameplay though. It feels really gimmicky, which definitely has some downsides. Again, we haven't said enough for me to really tell. And the thing that bothers me more is just everything else with this whole new era and how it's fucked with the story. That's what I'm concerned about. Because it's basically chapter fights, you know, to a story. Zarbatus, right? Is there a story attacking? Well, I presume it's coming out with Raiden. I don't know. I can't tell whenever it's Raiden because Raiden's just a generic dude now, which nobody asked for. But that's what we have in this bar place, which looks cool, but it's just a generic random location, right? It's not an appealing stage time. It looks like a nice place, but it's just a regular area. And we get the gameplay. Now, Sub-Zero's ice as being it's cool. Kunal doesn't have the hat, but there's other footage where he's wearing a hat, so they didn't get rid of it. I thought it did at first, but luckily that's not the case. Again, I think it might be a story thing, so you just fight, but you can't do any hat-based moves, maybe. That spear thing's cool. Liu Kang looking like a Sith Lord there. Again, he gives evil touch. There was some guy in the background. Hold on. I'm curious. George, what was that? Look at that guy. Like a soldier, maybe? I don't know. If that's a generic guy, we don't have the faction stuff. Like We don't know what this is. Like, they don't have Link Way badges on. They have this weird, like, circle medallion thing on. So, this doesn't feel like a Link Way Shiro or even a thing. Again, could be wrong. Special Forces might be a thing considering Jax and Sonya aren't playable. Which, okay, so I'm glad we're not getting the same mainstays, we're mixing up. But I wouldn't have cut the Special Forces. Jax in particular, that feels so weird. The day before I was saying Jax won't get removed. And nor should he. He's one of the mainstays, that makes sense. Where he has been playable in every entry, a version of every game, because base exception he is not playable, but Unchained he is, since his debut. You know? And of course has his own game, spin-off game. But yeah, he's not going to be involved in the story, I presume. Especially since the models are completely different for the cameos. I don't know if that's the case for the base ones, which is where it gets weird, and I get why people are confused about that, because you see an MK2 coming out, it's classic versions of the label versions, and if they are a different model and like you can't use those costumes, that would be fucking insane if you couldn't. I assume the cameos can't be customized. I hope customization is still in this game. I can't tell. Like you could look at the masks. That feels like something you can customize. The masks look so stupid. They're incredibly over designed for really plain outfits. They don't fit. And I feel like that's been the case for a while now. With the Ninja characters, they always just pick the worst base masks. They were doing it in MK11, and now this. So I'm not a fan of any of the designs, really. But yeah, so he's just gathering people, and now it's Kenshi versus Johnny. For some reason, Johnny has Kenshi's sword. Also, Kenshi has telekinesis, and he's not blind. So presumably the Well Soul stuff won't happen because he gets Sento by fighting Johnny Cage, which is so fucking dumb. What a downgrade. Also, you look here, this is like an arm tattoo thing. He's part of the Yakuza clan now. So we lost the Black Dragon and Red Dragon because I presume they're not in this game to just have the Yakuza, which is so uninspired. And it's not Kenshi's character. Again, you're changing lore for no reason. Even if you want to go off this new era bullshit, right? There is no reason why any of this lore would be different. Like why is Kenshi a criminal now? Like how does Liu Kang's better new era have to do with anything like that? That makes no sense. And also we see footage in a more traditional, fine-looking outfit where he has the blindfold on. So watch him get blinded for contrived reasons, like how Jax loses his arm somehow. At least this game he gets a break from that. Dude had his arms. Good for him. For now. And yeah, asshole Johnny looking like Elon Musk. Of course, he's the one character who's consistent. And yeah, here's the other stage. Johnny's house. Again, boring location. It looks cool, you know. You got the pool back there. But I don't care about the area. Remember we had stuff? For a year, you had the crazy stages, the Acid Bath, Shang Tsung's Palace, Quan Chi's Fortress. Now we just get Dude's Mansion, or Dude's Pub, or, you know, I mean, it's better than MKX, which already looked dull as fuck, and then you had just a random snowy forest. Which, when I first saw this, the stages felt that way, but I've looked up more and I could appreciate them. I don't appreciate these first two, though. These are just pointless. Yeah, it feels like, yeah, they kind of tie into like super moves, which are now, I guess, a combination of what Fatal Blows are like. I don't know if they'll function like Fatal Blows, but in terms of the animation, they have like X-ray and stuff, which I presume means regular crushing blows are gone, which I'm not a fan of, honestly. I think crushing blows, they had the potential to be good. That's just obnoxious. And yeah, look, Kenshi was in that chair, like, knocked out. You're telling me Johnny beat Kenshi? Fuck off. Also, you see the ninjas maskless. And again, they mention that they're brothers. And they look like literal brothers. By blood, which is fucking insane. And I assume that means Bihan's erased here. Unless Scorpion is Bihan, or vice versa. Either way, it's an insane idea. And a pointless one. Scorpion keeps taking the roles of other Lin Kuei characters. Like, first he takes place of Sub-Zero's best friend, replacing Smoke. And now he's taking Bihan's spot as his literal fucking brother. Like why? And how does that even happen? Again, this is Fire God Liu Kang who's changing the timeline, right? He's changing shit. And what does this have to do with changing things for the better? It's change for the sake of change, right? It's just retcons for the sake of it, you know? And none of them are good. Ed Boon mentioned, oh, we changed some backstory stuff, but give it a few years and people will realise that these changes were for the better. How? I cannot see how any of these are positive changes. They are just changes for the sake of it, and they're inferior to the original ideas. These aren't the characters anyone liked, right? This isn't the Scorpion like. People like Scorpion, right, because of his backstory. You know, the Revenge Man shit I don't like either, but now he's just a dude. Look at him, little pussy here, just taking a quick bow to Liu Kang, who again feels like a villain. He feels like a villain. I've talked about how in Aftermath he's a fucking piece of shit for his whole plan and how it like caused a bunch of harm to all the heroes, and it doesn't make sense. But point being, like how it fucks over the heroes, and people justify that by saying, "Well, he's just going to reset a timeline." That is like saying if I had like time manipulation powers, I would kill my family and reverse time so it doesn't matter. That is psychopath shit. Okay. And now we're having him say like Dark Raiden lines in the intro. There was a tweet about like chaos from MK, which I guess Havoc's probably coming back. I'd assume. There was some leak stuff to talk about from an actually credible source, which I think I'll make a separate video, but there is interesting stuff there. None of it's positive, but I think that should be a separate video compared to this. But yeah, he just comes across as a douchebag. I mean, this costume looks cool, okay? This is a cool line. But do I care if I got Liu Kang? No. And why is his hair black now? I kind of just realised that. He doesn't have the grey hair. Weird. Like, yeah, graphically this looks cool. Like all the effects and stuff. At this stage, I don't know what it is, but it looks alright. And that reminds me of Air Combat. It definitely isn't the same, but yeah. Also, she's got like, Scorpion has like weird camera stuff, like Natara's weapon and Serena's, which is weird. Also, Kenshi's just a Shaolin, I guess. And yeah, Raiden. That's Raiden. Don't know why. And the only reason you notice he's Raiden is because he has lightning powers, which Liu Kang has anyway. Why is he here? Like, because you got an MK game about Raiden, right? But they already took Raiden from us with the stupid Fire God Liu Kang idea. Like, yeah, you see some cool kind of stuff. That is a necessarily. We have actually skipped those and we get more gameplay. And a Denian stage, it seems. Might be the Palace Grounds. By the way, this is like how intro dialogue is now. See, that was a poor transition. But basically, you select your characters and they do that, like Injustice Clash thing, but they do the intro dialogue there. Then it pans out into the gameplay. That is a smooth transition, I must say, when they showed it in the other preview. But a little more pressing, and I didn't want to show this. This. If your disease becomes known, you will be banished. Which, first, that's fucked up, old-timey Adenian shit. That's really dumb. Also, becoming a Tarkan is a disease now. Dumb as fuck. At least Katana cares about him. Also, there's Goro, right? Which raises a question, and again, it's no misconception. People are saying Goro's a cameo, which, again, playable characters can be cameo characters. And since he's the only cameo we see here, that's just completely redesigned. That says to me that he's a playable character, although at the same time, with the playable characters, we've seen classic versions of him. So he's kind of an anomaly, so he could be one or the other. But it would be weird if he's a cameo and they completely change how he looks. He looks tiny now. His skin is literally charcoal black. His design looks like Reiko's. It's like red and he's got like the fucking Khan armor chestplate thing, which was Kentaro's thing out of the Shokan anyway. How do you fuck up Goro's design? Like, seriously. Like when I first saw this, I thought this was a brand new character, a new Shokan, and I was so up for that, you know. I was like, okay, cool. But Ed Boon in the preview says, that's Goro. So if Ed Boon hadn't clarified that, I would be in this video saying, hey, here's a new character, this Shokan guy. And Goro probably the most recognizable character in Mortal Kombat. I couldn't recognize him. The only thing that similar to Goro is the ponytail and being a Shokan. That is fucking disgraceful. That is genuinely a terrible redesign. I don't care what your thoughts are on any of the other designs. That is terrible. You have destroyed his look. Especially when the camera's supposed to be all this classic look thing, which is why it's so weird how Goro is not that. Also, he's tiny as fuck. Which I don't know how you scale it like that. Especially when it's a cameo, right? So you can make him massive as fuck. Of course, he might be playable, but then I'm pretty sure the cameo models for the playable characters are different anyway. Again, he's weird. I don't know what's going on there. Also, this is a graphic. Like, overall, I don't have much complaints with graphics. It looks fine, right? Fatality's overdone and whatnot, but it just looks weird in parts. Like, this looks fine. Again, the backgrounds look fine. The colour is still here. I love the colour. Yeah. And there's Kung Lao here. So, that is something. And that's Raiden. I thought that was Kung Lao the whole time. And this stage is cool as fuck. Okay? This is the main takeaway I had from this. The living forest, because you see the tree faces, but it's Edenian, I assume. Because I'm 9% sure this is actual Edenian now, because all the purple stuff. Mentioned like being banished, I assume that's Edenian, not Outworld stuff. And we see another stage that seems like Outworld, and Outworld is purple again. So, yes to both of those things. And this especially stand out to me because old, I think MK4 prequel comic lore, I believe at least, basically established the living forest is part of Edenia. It was brought over in the merger. And it made the trees upset. That's why they're all grumpy little guys. But back in Edenia, it was known as the Jolly Forest. And the trees look much more chill here. Obviously, it's got a less scary feel. It's like more fucking magical, I guess. I think this is the Jolly Forest. If it's just another random living forest, then yeah, I immediately lose interest there because you have the perfect opportunity to say this is the Jolly Forest and call back to that insanely obscure lore. Because I respect if they know that. Because even MK9, I feel they're aware of that lore just because the living forest is next to the Edenian wastelands. But I could be wrong. This could just be a different living forest. But yeah, here's Striker. The cameo models look so bad. And yeah, here's this really cool looking festival stage. Looks like something from Outworld, the purple sky. Happy that's back. Again, I'm fine with, like, I shouldn't pause on that. Again, this feels like they're just redoing the same fucking fatalities. Like, that's just the hat slice. Yeah, it's just a fatality montage here, I think. Yeah. And yeah, you got the duo fatalities, which is cool, I guess. I pre-ordered get Shang Tsung, who wasn't in this trailer at all. And we're still not 100% sure if he's the main character. I just really get some weird glowing gauntlet things. I don't know what's up with that. I don't like his design. Can we have Shang Tsung have his beard back, please? Anyway. But it was the Outworld purple. It is his main aesthetic. It should still be a thing. It's better than the generic desert shit. But I'm fine with that being a separate location. Like Deception, the Golden Desert, right? Oh, Deadly Alliance, so the Lost Tomb is in Sana Ruins, which is also just in a regular looking desert. MK3, Jade's Desert, Outworld location, presumably. So that's always been a thing, but then MKX and Kern, that was all Outworld was, just desert. So that's a distinction now. You know, we will look at this. We're not going to listen to Ed being rambling because I've already summarised what he mentioned. But yeah, here's the roster. This is how you know there's only 24 characters. Down, up, down, roster size. And then there's the cameos. Weirdly, Striker isn't present on this one, but nah, I don't think that means anything. See, Kenshi looks kind of okay. Jax looks so bad there, though. Like, holy shit. That is rough. Kano looks rough there, too. Oh, that's bad. But yeah, this is what I mean by the transition. This is where they do intro dialogue. And then it's basically a loading screen, which I like so much more. Although I think that means you can't skip the intro dialogue anymore, because that's the loading screen. So actually, maybe I don't like that. Oh wait, they just had like a regular intro there. I didn't even realize that. Okay, so here's a gameplay thing of note. The free meters are back, which oh fuck, not a fan. I'm really not a fan of the meter system. I think that's better than MK11, which is a hot take, but I think having the defense bars and the offensive bars are separate. That's a better idea than this. Basically, if you're unfamiliar, MK9, MKX, I assume it functions the same way, or else it wouldn't be this free bar system. You have the full free bars, you get your super move, which I don't know what this will be called in this one, because it's like a blend of the X-ray and fatal blow, which, fine, whatever. Some people are stuck down for fatalities, right? That's how absurd they've become. But yeah, one bar to amplify. Sometimes it might be 2 bars. I think, but usually 1 bar. 2 bars you get to use a breaker, which I love breakers, but and they're better than a fucking MK11 breakaway. But you want to know when breakers were actually good? 3D MK Deception, which debuted the breaker system. You had 3 breakers throughout the entire match. No meter bullshit, just that. So honestly, the only meter I think there should be is for the offense meter. I'm fine with fatal blows being a thing. If you're gonna have a super move, I think fatal blows are better, personally. Although I don't care either way. But I think any meter should just be for the amplifying move stuff, because I think that's a good addition, and I don't know how to implement that. So yeah, that I mean that's about it. I don't have anything else to show you. There was like a chair on the stage that like would go across to the stage and you see it break in the starter trailer, but that is about it. Everything else from this little preview here is just kind of waffle, you know. So that about covers it. Like, quick thoughts. I have a lot more specific thoughts, but basically, I am so not interested in the new era. The gameplay, cautiously optimistic. You know, like this looks fine so far, but we haven't seen much specific stuff for the gameplay preview. Yeah, again, it still feels story focused, even though the story's ass. So yeah, and the reason for why I don't like it, why I'm not open to this idea, is because yeah, I want a new stuff with MK. You know, this is better than just. Actually, no, it's not. No, it's not. I was trying that. I was going to say it's better than just doing the fucking tournament stories. But no, it's not, because that's still MK. This doesn't feel like Mortal Kombat. All the characters have different story from what we've seen so far, except Johnny. Johnny's just another, still the Hollywood actor guy. Everyone else has different lore from what's on the base roster. Kenshi's lore is different. Scorpion Sub-Zero have some weird different stuff going on. Fire God Liu Kang's obviously different. And Mortal Raiden's obviously different. All of them are different. Kung Lao's different. Melina especially, with the whole fucking Tarkhan disease thing. And Ed Boon had the gall to say that, well, our new origins are better than the old ones, and people will have to learn to accept that. Fuck off. Just fuck off. That's some MK Rebirth type shit there. That is a terrible idea. I really don't like Melina already. I think conceptually she's really good, and the one good thing she had going for her was her backstory in MK2. Being a clone of Katana, mixed with Takana DNA, that was cool. That's the cool as fuck origins for her. That was the one thing you didn't need to change about her character. It's fucking insane. And they're still going to do the Katana Melina rivalry, because Melina's going to turn evil because all Tarkatan, which again that just highlights a regression of Tarkatans, which we saw Tarkatans get character development, a ton of it in MK11, one of the best parts of MK11's story, and we're just going back on that, is my guess. I'm not disappointed, but I always have really low standards, and they just blow me away with how stupid they can be with the story. The gameplay, it's fine. It's whatever. The stage design, some look good. Again, it pains me that they're just backgrounds now. Especially here, because it doesn't even look like there's a stage interactables. But yeah, that's about like my general thought. I could go into more specific reasons, but that is why. These aren't Mortal Kombat characters I know and love. These are poor mimics of these characters. That's what I feel. Of course, we'll get more information. We've already got some more leaks, which, you know, I fucking avoid leakers like the plague for MK, but this one was completely right about this trailer. They predicted that Kenshi was of the Yakuza and that he'd fight Johnny over his sword. That is so specific that there's no way that would have been just a guy guessing that. So I will make a video on that guy's leaks next week, I guess. But for now, that's all. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.